I'm Billy Oliva, Executive Chef of the Delmonico Restaurant Group. We're here today at Delmonico's, the oldest restaurant in the country, and we're going to be preparing for you a bourbon-marinated strip steak. Okay, so we're going to start first with our bourbon marinade. First thing we're going to do, we're going to add a little chopped shallot to our bowl. We're going to add some sliced garlic to our bowl, just a little bit. If you like garlic, add a little more. If you don't like garlic, you don't have to add it at all. A little bit of fresh thyme. Now we're going to go with the good stuff. Wild turkey honey bourbon. If you like a lot of bourbon, add a lot. If you don't like bourbon, add just a little bit. For what we're doing, I think that's going to be plenty. Then our next ingredient is going to be just a little bit of blended oil. Just going to add a little bit of that oil, mellow out the taste of the bourbon. And now we have, this is raw bourbon going into this marinade. So what we're going to add next, which is already in the bourbon as well, we're going to add some honey to sweeten it up a little bit. Our ingredients are cold here, so we're going to want to mix our honey. Otherwise, it's just going to settle to the bottom. Just a light mix. It's a marinade. Just want to infuse all the flavors. Dash of Worcestershire, a couple of dashes. Just to kick it up a little bit, give it a little bit of heat, little bite. A couple of dashes of Tabasco. Going to mix it again. And this marinade can be done the day before. You can let all the flavors kind of fuse together and then use it the next day. Develop a little bit more flavor. We're just going to do the last thing, a pinch of salt, some cracked black pepper. It's a simple marinade. Because we're using raw bourbon, when we do marinate our steaks, you only want to marinate them for about 20-25 minutes tops. So here we have two beautiful, these are about 18-ounce New York strip steaks. Beautiful marbling. Nice amount of fat to meat ratio. I think it's going to work perfect with our bourbon marinade. Just going to spoon these over, and we're going to marinate both sides. Going to flip our steaks. A little more marinade. Beautiful. We're not done yet. Again, we're going to season them. Both sides. These are looking great. Now we're going to go into the refrigerator. 20-25 minutes. We'll turn them every 5 or 10 minutes or so. Like I said, it's raw bourbon. We don't want the marinade to overtake the meat. So we're not going to leave it too long. Now we're going to move this to our hot pan. We're going to sear it on both sides, pop it in the oven, and then we're going to have a great steak in about 20-25 minutes. So our steak's out of the marinade. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil in the pan, just enough to coat it. I'm going to let that pan heat up. Very important. Our meat has been marinating about 25 minutes. We've taken it out of the refrigerator. We've let it come to room temperature. Again, whenever you're cooking meat, very important. Meat comes to room temperature before it hits a hot pan. When you start to see your pan smoke, that means you're ready to cook. And you can hear that sizzle. What we're looking for is a nice caramelization. Now you have some honey in that marinade, so you're going to get a nice color pretty quickly. As you can see, we have some nice color there. I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to caramelize that other side. And as you saw, the pan was super hot. The meat didn't stick. Easy to work with. Now I'm going to add a little bit, baste it with a little bit of this bourbon honey marinade right before it goes into the oven. One last shot before we go into the oven. And that's the alcohol. That flame is the alcohol cooking off. But you're still going to have all that beautiful bourbon and honey flavor. And that's the alcohol. That flame is the alcohol cooking off. But you're still going to have all that beautiful bourbon and honey flavor. So we're going to hit that one more time. And now we're going to put this in the oven for a few minutes. Our bourbon marinated strip steaks come out of the oven. They look beautiful, great color. We have some grilled asparagus here on our plate. So let's finish this dish. Very simple. Our steaks have rested. Our beautiful bourbon marinated steak. Great color. Smells great. Just going to garnish that. A little crispy fried onions. Splash of sea salt. Bourbon marinated steak. I'm ready to eat. I'm Billy Oliva, Executive Chef of the Delmonico's Restaurant Group. Here's bourbon marinated steak, grilled asparagus, crispy onions. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to eat. So let's eat. For more information, check us out on delmonicosrestaurantgroup.com. Now let's dig in.